Hello everybody, and today I'm going to do one more probably the last one, but I'm not sure. I thought the previous one is the last one, and but on the second thought, and I feel I need to do one from the professional philosophy point of view. So to summarize what we have been through, all the points we talked about in the past, and give you a bigger picture of what the philosophy or philosophers should feel, should see in this whole thing, the search, the pursuit of ontology, or I call it cornerstone, philosopher's stone of the reality. What is truth, in other words? Okay, let me start from here. Remember we talked about the history of philosophy. We started with Thales or Thales, whatever you pronounce it. The water is the first one, and later we have Alexander, Aleximini, and we have Democritus, we have Parmenides, we have the Elias school, we have medicine school, we have two schools, and we have many different philosophers to say air, to say infinite, to say fire, and many other things, like in the Orient, in China or India, people believe that ancient thinkers believed wood, earth, water, and gold even. These things are the fundamental of the ontology, the fundamental of things that moved the world, and things like that. Remember that? And of course, we have this another school believing the abstract things, like Parmenides thinking being, or Pythagoras thinking numbers. And if you notice this trend, you probably have an idea why people go into different ways, searching for the philosopher's stone or the ontology, whatever moves the world forward, or the source of everything. All right, we can see obviously two things. And on the one hand, we see external things from the point of view of human, right? We can see all the things in nature, and we, no matter it's the air, it's heaven or earth, or it's the water, it's external things. Till recent, in science, in physics, they are still searching for physical things, right? From Newtonian classic physics till later Einstein's relativity, or even quantum mechanics. The wave, the particle, the dual nature of elemental particles, the wave function and particle behavior, they are just two aspects of one thing. That's what we were told from the quantum mechanics. But on the other hand, searching internally, okay, the other side is the external, searching in nature, beyond oneself, beyond the humans, and the other way is searching internally. What is the fundamental thing which moves the world? All right, that's a philosopher's efforts. Since the early time, we have the being, we have the form. Later, we have Descartes' analysis based on I think, therefore I am, till Kant's idea of a noumena, that kind of thing, Fichte and German philosophers, the ego, the nature, to Hegel's spirit. Later on, we have Heidegger's Dasein from point of view of people, from person, human being, being then and there. And from that point of view, we can think existence from human side of it. And talking about this, we see Heidegger is the student of Husserl, right? The father of phenomenology. Actually, Husserl's idea is mostly from another previous philosopher, Brentano. Is a mental reality from that idea. I didn't mention much about phenomenology. This word is come from Hegel's first preliminary work, Phenomenology of Spirit. But when Husserl used it or Brentano used it, it took an entirely different meaning. I saw many in the Chinese community of philosophers, they talk about ontology, phenomenology, but it looks like very few people understand what it is. Well, in a way, I should say it's difficult to understand. They gave you many articles and many things to read about, and you can very rarely to catch a meaning. And after some reading, it came to me why phenomenology has life till today. It has a reason, and what it says is the truth. It's not psychologically true. It depends on individual, on a person. No, it's not. It's the truth. To put it in short, my understanding is, I believe I'm right. Phenomenology talks about the common experience. Okay, this is the key word, common experience. What is common experience? Let me say this. Everybody dreams, right? Everybody has dream at night, and we dream, but we may dream different things. But if a dream is too outrageous or too outlandish or whatever, you got a problem. You probably hallucinate. You probably imagine something that you shouldn't. Not everyone or not normal, quote unquote, person should dream about. So they started a field using phenomenology to cure the patients who hallucinate a lot, who has not the dreams they should have. So to diagnose people, or make like Freud did, to have the root checking the sexual part, the unconsciousness, checking the libido, or from that point of view. But the thing is, if other people don't have that kind of dream, you have it, that's a sign of some illness. So people use this common experience to find out what's wrong with you from that. And this is one example in the medical field to use phenomenology. Another one you may say, let's say everybody drives, right? We can drive a car, everybody can drive, and pass exam, and everybody got a driver license. But if we can abstract the experience from everybody's drive, and if you go beyond that, you didn't do what people are supposed to do, we can see there's some problem, or maybe you are a genius or something. So that's a way to use phenomenology. That's called a common experience. We just extract this part. I think that's Husserl's contribution to the philosophy field, and that's a very good one. So that's my understanding. And so from this one, we can see, to quote this, phenomenology contribution to the world, to ontology. My point is searching truth from internally, from the mind, to identify the mental objects. That kind of efforts using this search internally. Of course, as to the other school, like Wittgenstein's efforts, Rundi's efforts from the language study, or even Bertrand Russell's efforts, we can see the language is a part of the brain too. So it's from internal, we can say from internal side to search for some roots, for the cornerstone, philosopher's stone of the ontology, to move that forward. All right, that's probably the reason the two ways, externally, internally, and they go each going to different ways to search for the truth, for the philosopher's stone. Of course, in searching for the truth, the science also did its contribution. As a matter of fact, the science, especially physics, even claims more accomplishments than philosophers' efforts. And like Stephen Hawking even say, philosophy is dead. Excuse me. Well, if we broaden our view, we can see in the Orient, we have Indian culture, we have Chinese culture. They also, the Buddhism, the Taoism, they also search for the ontological reality, and they believe different things, But basically, they didn't succeed. They didn't go very far because they don't go to the according to the logic or science, and that's why they are not as powerful searching for the solution as a Western culture or philosophy, because philosophy goes, not only philosophy gave the birth of science, but it goes from the logical link to chase starting point or the source of logic. So in that sense, it's the only correct way to do the search. We often heard the opinion that Western culture or science is a different way of looking at the world and seeking truth, but the Orient or the Chinese or Indians culture has other ways to do it. I always believe that's a wrong comparison. It's like compare a child's fancy versus adult's efforts. And I call it intuitive culture of the Chinese. They don't have this reason, as I said in the past. It's not comparative. You cannot compare the Oriental culture with the West, because it's like compare the triangle. I used this example in the past. One is to prove it, the other is to draw it. So it's a different approach. It's entirely different. Actually, it's just the different maturity or development of human intelligence. I see it that way. if you don't know this, and you have to work, one day you probably will, but for the Chinese, of course, and but the Western way of development, the rational, the logic, the science, that's only truth way, the right way to see the world, because it's much more powerful and than the Oriental thinking or culture, the intuitive thinking like Buddhism or Taoism, that kind of a pursuit. All right, so that's the basic view I have. Okay, if we see the whole thing, the whole trend of history, the pursuit of different cultures to the truth, we eventually come, one day you probably will think the two sides will converge, will eventually join forces in the searching of the truth. You are correct. And I believe Instancology is the last one, which combines the internal and external, and eventually we landed in this double absolute. Absolutely absolute. The first word is adjective to modify the second word. That is reality. Absolute is the truth. All right. So we combine the two. We have the whole picture of the pursuit for these efforts, for this search of the truth. The ontological progress has an end. And because we have now already gone beyond the something or things, all right, the positive part or negative part, whatever you call it, we come to the absolutely absolute. That, in a sense, we now come to the end of searching. You cannot go beyond it, because it's not even thing anymore. You cannot say it's a school or it's just another branch, another field, another subject, or whatever it is. That's basically the truth. So till this point, I hope you are convinced that it's the end of it. And I myself try to refute my own theory many times. If I find it's a self-contradiction or it's I have some doubt, I would rather abandon it rather than to provide it to the world, to show it to other people. But unfortunately or fortunately, I cannot find any problem with it. Of course, it's hard. I'm expecting others to raise any objections or see any contradictions or anything that will give rise to the interest. Let me rethink about the whole thing of Instancology, but I didn't see anything. I cannot see anything so far. And after 5 years after the publish of the first book, Instancology, in Chinese we call it 论范例. I cannot see any problem with it. If you search or Google the website, the internet, search the word Instancology. Instance, get out of the E, add O-L-O-G-Y. Instance, Instancology. That's everything I did in the past several years, ever since the two books are published. Okay, so it's a pretty, I don't know, early time for people to realize that. And in science, we have relativity theory from Albert Einstein. And now we have in philosophy the idea of absolute. We go even one step beyond the relative. Then that's absolute. What else can you have? Nothing. That's the end of it. So basically, hopefully this is the truth. And if it's wrong, if you feel anything wrong with it, let me know. And then you are really a great contributor to the theory, to this discovery. In a way, negative is better than nothing, all right? So hopefully it will stand it, and it will stand any criticism or any fault-finding efforts, because I believe the truth will be truth, no matter how long it lasts, how long it will endure. People don't know it. It doesn't matter. As the German philosopher Kierkegaard, I believe, let me see, what's his name, said, truth has a long life. I can wait. And so that's basically the idea I share with him. And one day it will be recognized, no matter what. Okay, as long as it's truth. So this is a short summary from the point of view of philosophy. If you're a professional, if your fields are philosophy or in philosophy, hopefully you can see my point. All right, the whole 2,500 years of a philosophy search, then now it's beyond the philosophy, because it's not the things anymore. Philosophy is a study of things. Instancology is a study beyond the philosophy. That's a fact. All right? Okay. This is, I believe it's the final or last lecture of the 8th of this theory. So if you have any thoughts or have any ideas, any questions, I hope you can leave it in the comment. We can discuss. Okay? That's something worth pursued. To me, to my mind, it is the best efforts to realize what a human being is worth, to know the truth, to be aware of the truth, to be conscious of the truth. All right? Hopefully you share my point of view. All right. Thank you so much. If you come from a long way from lecture 1 to here, to the 8th one, congratulations. You have the endurance, the courage, and the understanding to understand everything. All right. The first 2 lectures are in Chinese, and so if you feel that you can only understand it in English, let me know. I can maybe convert it to English. If you are from China, you know the language, both languages as I do, congratulations. And you can go through everything on your own, all right? Okay, thank you guys. Thank you for everything. Thanks for watching. All right, good luck.